こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の教材は、リバプールの遠藤航に関する動画です。リバプールは、カラバオカップ4回戦で、鎌田大地擁するクリスタルパレスと対戦し、ファンも絶望の3対0で完敗しました。遠藤航はセンターバックで先発出場し、後半途中からはボランチの位置でもプレーしました。リバプールファンは、直近7試合で6敗と悲惨な状況の中、先発メンバーをほぼ全てローテーションして挑んだ試合で、選手をかばう声も多く、スロットに対する不信感が強くなった試合になりました。アンフィールドアジェンダのプレーヤーレーティングでも、基本的に選手をかばいながらも、それでも遠藤航のように、チームをリードするべき経験豊富なベテランの役割としても、十分でなかったという見方もあり、出場機会が与えられない理由をこの試合でも見せたという厳しい見方もやはりあるようです。実際にどのように話しているのか、そしてどれだけスロットに激怒しているのか、チェックしてみましょう。
What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to another disappointing player ratings video here on Anfield Agenda. Arne Slot's men have been knocked out of the League Cup 3-0 at home to Glasner's Crystal Palace. There's lots I want to say, there's lots I have said, but ultimately I'm going to try and say what I need to say through the scores. You're going to see two images as always on each player card. The upper right hand corner is the average Anfield Agenda audience member score, and the large square in the centre is my score. Feel free to let us know your thoughts in the comment section. I would say drop a like on this video if you enjoy it, but there isn't really much to enjoy, to be honest, but I do appreciate all of your support, and of course we will be back tomorrow with our normal routine. So let's get stuck into this one and start with the referee, Craig Pawson, who I actually don't think was bad at all. He let the game flow. I don't really have a decision that stands out to me that he got wrong. So for me, I'm going to try and be fair tonight, not take my frustration out on the ref. So I'm going to give him a 6.5. And the audience have gone there with a score for Craig Pawson of 5.6. Next up is Freddie Woodman. And again, another difficult one. I mean, how do you score that for a goalkeeper who was, didn't really have much in front of him? Great, I'm sure, for him to make his debut there at Anfield in the competitive game for the Reds, a proud moment for him. So I'm going to, again, try to be as fair as I can with this one and give Freddie Woodman a score of 6. And the audience has gone lower, 4.7. Like, I do know he conceded 3 goals, but I don't remember him having a howler or making too many mistakes. So, I want to try and be as fair as I can to the players that are in this for the first time. 4.7 from the audience. Calvin Ramsey was making his first senior appearance in 3 years for Liverpool, and honestly, I thought he was one of the better players out there, if you could use that phrase, in a Liverpool shirt. Certainly did himself no harm whatsoever, and you can see why we bought him in the first place. I thought he was one of our better performers, as I said, so well done to Calvin. Hopefully that's something for him to build on, and hopefully he can keep the fitness up as well. So for him, I gave a 7, because honestly I thought he was our best player out there on the pitch tonight, and the audience have gone a bit lower there for him with a score of 4.9. That's pretty much where the good news stops with regards to my scoring though. Endo came in, and look, you're always going to get an honest effort from Endo, but again, senior players are supposed to be out there leading this team, and it's not all on Endo or Robbo's shoulders, but again, you can see why these guys aren't, well, in Endo's case, playing week in and week out. I thought he was okay, so I'm going to give him a score of 5, and the audience have gone for Endo with a score of 4.5. It's so hard to judge any of these players based off this one out-of-context performance in a much-changed team where they don't have the other senior pros around them. They don't have, a lot of the time, rhythm. And that applies to Joe Gomez here as well. So I thought Joe looked decent up until the first goal, and then it all started to fall apart. Yes, he did lay the ball on for their first goal, but after that, it was more mistakes. And that's our backup centre-back. It fills me with no confidence that we now have 3 centre-backs, all of them underperforming to some level, and no bright spark. It's tough times. It really is. Try and be upbeat. It's really difficult. For Joe, I'm going to give a 4. And the audience, as you can see, along similar lines, have given a score there of 3.8. I do think you will see Joe Gomez leave Liverpool at the end of the season. It was close to happening this summer. And, it's hard to say he's not at the level because he has a history of playing at a decent level. But he doesn't seem to be somebody that can go from the bench into a one-off game and perform, which is difficult. So I think the score is fair based off what we've seen. On the other side, Andy Robertson, who was a captain tonight, you're never going to get a lack of effort from Robbo. He's never going to give up. He was still trying to rally in the troops. And I do applaud him for that, and I applaud him for his honesty. Again, alongside Calvin Ramsey, I thought he was one of our better performers tonight. So I've given him a score of 5. And the audience was gone a bit lower there for Robbo with a 4.5. Next up, Milos Kerkez, who, look, just continued on his vein of looking all over the place and just running around like he doesn't know what to do. One point, he was jogging back when they were counter-attacking and I was screaming at him to hurry up and run. Just all around not good enough so far, and I've given him a score of 3, and the audience have gone a little bit higher with a score there of 3.6. I do want to say, though, I'm not giving up on Kerkez. I do think there's a player there, and I do think we will see better from him maybe next season, but right now he's just so far off it. Next up, Alexis McAllister. Shambolic. Awful. Nowhere near good enough. Doesn't look like the World Cup winner, filled full of confidence that he was last year. I don't know whether it's injury, whether it's a lack of a pre-season, whether it's a mixture of everything, but we are not seeing the same player. He looks like he's lost out there. So for me, Alexis gets a score of 3.5, and the audience has gone a bit higher with a score there of 4. Now, somebody said to me, Craig, maybe you shouldn't do the player ratings video tonight. And I totally understood where they were coming from. But I haven't come on here to try to throw these young players under the bus. If anything, I'm trying to give them a pass and talk about the manager who will be at the end. So I am honestly trying to be as supportive as I can, because it is not on these young players. They were put into an unwinnable situation by the manager. On Trainioni, who was a player that we're all very fond of and who I thought again looked like he showed moments of class out there, giving him a score of 5. The audience have gone lower there for Trey with a score of 4.1. Rio Ngamoa. Look, we know he's an exciting talent. Heart and mouth moment there when he went down injured. I was fearing the worst, but never stopped trying to be direct, never stopped trying to have a go at defenders, never stopped trying to make stuff happen, and give me that any day of the week over somebody not trying. So for Rio, I'm giving a 6, and the audience again, a little bit lower than me, but they've gone for a 5 for Rio Ngamoa. Kieran Morrison. I thought he was all right, a couple of decision-making things in the final third in particular I thought he got wrong, but look, did himself no harm. Again, not on these young players. Their careers aren't going to be judged off this performance tonight. It's a run out from at Anfield. I wish the result had been better for him, but I'm going to give him a 5.5, and the audience have gone for a 3.9. Federico Chiesa, again, another one who the manager sends out there to be a hero in a team where it's impossible to be a hero, and then that'll be used against him by the manager in the future to justify him not starting him. His treatment of Chiesa has been nothing but despicable since he came into the club, and I don't really know what to say here other than Fede deserves better, and I can't really judge him in these stop-start games where he doesn't have the first team around him. So I've gone and given him a score of 6, because he never gives up, he never stops fighting, and the audience seen similar things as myself there and went with a 5.9. You got to judge Chiesa, you got to judge him with the first teamers around him starting from the start, Arna, not in these throwaway games where you're throwing him under a bus. Nalo, 13 minutes of football for us, and he's had 2 red cards. Tonight, I can understand why he pulled the man down when he was trying to go through on goal. Again, you talk about the manager putting him into that position, putting him into the firing line in a game where we were 2-0 down. What was the point? What was the upside of it? So I feel for him, I do, and that's why I can't give him a score, because I don't think it would be fair of me to give him a score. The audience, for what it's worth, went 2.4, but it must be difficult for Nalo, and I truly do feel for him, because he is a decent young defender, and he's been unfortunate. Lucky. Again, another young centre-back making his way in the game. There was always the positive of him getting minutes and getting that feeling at Anfield, but again, I ask, what is the manager doing sending these kids out into that environment where they're set up to fail? It just seems like really poor management for me. So for Lucky, I'm giving him a score of 5, and the audience have gone with a 3.5. Cade Gordon. I thought Cade looked bright out there on the pitch. If he could put injuries behind him, there is a player in there. There really, really is. He's been so unfortunate with injuries. And I thought he looked decent enough when he came on. I always enjoy watching Cade Gordon play. So I've given him a 5.5, and the audience have gone there for a score of 4. Next up, Trent Cohn-Doherty. Now look, he gets a bonus point because he's from Ireland. And I'm not going to be, I'm unashamed about that. I'm absolutely biased here for a Derry City boy. So look, Trent Cohn-Doherty again, another good moment for him to get a run out there inside a full Anfield. Not the experience he would have, I'm sure, wanted or hoped for, but another bright young spark there for the future. So I've given him a 6, and the audience have gone a bit lower there with a 3.9. But remember, he's Irish, so of course I'm going to look after my boy. And then we move on to the manager, who I'm so angry at. I'm not even going to put a number on my thoughts here, because this man is deluded and he's lost it. To come out with this comment after the game, talking about Manchester City squad, it's absolutely embarrassing. He said, I saw City's 11 and they didn't have one starter from the weekend, but it felt like their best 11. That's a bit of an insight. No, Arna, the insight is that you chose to have a weak bench. You chose that. You could have chosen, the same as Arteta, the same as Guardiola, to put some good players on that bench. But you chose to reward the underperforming players by giving them a rest. That's on you. To try to say that's an insight, it's an insight into you making excuses, mate. That's all that is. And that's all you have done. Self-preservation and one lie after another. You've been given £450 million to go out there and, in the words of our own club, to go out there to build a squad, to compete, to dominate domestically, and to go and try and win every competition we're in. And at the very first chance, you throw away a bit of silverware this year. Because of what? Because you wanted to reward underperforming players that don't deserve a rest and shouldn't need a rest. They should be embarrassed. They should want to go out there and put it right. So Arna, your job very much is on the line right now with Liverpool fans. Your support is very much on the line with the majority of Liverpool fans. And I've said this all the way through. He has to the international break for me to fix this. If we don't start winning games, he should be gone by then, if he shouldn't already be gone. He's not even being accountable for his own actions. That is truly what astounds me. You went there tonight and had people who came in from all over the UK and different parts of the world, paid their hard-earned money to go there, and he couldn't care less. He threw the game away, threw the fans under the bus, threw the young players under the bus, and has the cheek then to moan about squads. Not at all. So for me, I can't even give him a score. I'd rather give him a swear word, and I think he can think of which one I'm thinking of. The audience, as you can see there, they've gone for a 1.4. That is how disillusioned and angry Liverpool fans are tonight. Make no mistake about it. So that is it for this player ratings video, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you tomorrow, same time and same place. Thank you to everybody that did come in tonight, that shared a supportive word. It's a difficult moment at the minute as Liverpool fans, but our manager, he needs to stop being delusional, because he's coming across as if he's lost the plot. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
次は解説です。今回は過去に解説していないボキャブラリーや解説しておきたい表現も多くありましたので、いつもよりは少し多めですが、早速本日の解説をチェックしてみましょう。
He was still trying to rally in the troops.
ラリーザ・トゥループスは、もともとは軍隊で兵士たちを集結させて再び戦わせるという意味の言葉ですが、日常会話やビジネス、スポーツの場面でも比喩的に使われます。例えば、キャプテンがチームメイトを鼓舞するや、リーダーが部下を励まして再び目標に向かわせるといった状況で使われます。特に、チームやグループが困難な状況にあるときに、再び一致団結させようとする行動を表すのにぴったりのフレーズです。この動画では、イン・ザ・トゥループスと、インが入っているように聞こえますが、正式にはインは使わずに、ラリーザ・トゥループスという形で使われます。モチベーションアップ、組織の結束という場面でよく使われるため、ぜひ覚えておきましょ
う。He was still trying to rally in the troops. He was still trying to rally in the troops. Look, just continued on his vein of looking all over the place.
Continue on one's vein of は、という傾向を続けるという意味を持つ比喩的な表現です。ここでのベインは直訳すると静脈や鉱脈ですが、何かが続いて流れている様子を指しています。例えば、好調を維持するや不調が続くという場面で使われます。会話、スポーツ、ビジネスの場面などで物事が良い悪い方向に継続していることを表現したいときに便利です。自然で洗練された言い回しとして、ぜひ覚えておきましょ
う。Just continued on his vein of looking all over the place. Just continued on his vein of looking all over the place. His treatment of Chiesa has been nothing but despicable.
Despicable は非常に強い否定的意味を持つ単語で、卑劣な、最低な、軽蔑すべきといった感情を込めて相手の行動や性格を批判するときに使われます。発音は Despicable または Despicable で、語調からしても強い印象を与える単語です。道徳的に許されない行動、詐欺、虐待、裏切りなどに対して用いることが多く、That was despicable といった短いフレーズでもよく使われます。Respectable の反対と覚えると覚えやすいでしょう。感情表現の幅を広げたいときに、覚えておくと便利な語です。
His treatment of Chiesa has been nothing but despicable. His treatment of Chiesa has been nothing but despicable, and I can't really judge him in these stop-start games.
ストップスタートは、止まったり動いたりするような断続的な動きや進行を表す形容詞です。特に、試合、プロジェクト、キャリアなどがスムーズに進まず、中断を繰り返すような様子を説明するのに使われます。例えばスポーツ中継で、ストップスタートゲームといえば、途切れがちな展開の試合を意味します。ビジネスでも、ストップスタートプロセスで、断続的なプロセスのように使われるため、聞き取れると理解力が一段と上がります。口語的かつ実用的な表現です。
And I can't really judge him in these stop-start games. And I can't really judge him in these stop-start games because this man is deluded and he's lost it.
ディルーディットは、勘違いしているや、現実を見ていないと誰かを批判するときに使う言葉です。例えば、サッカー解説などで、He's completely deluded で、彼は完全に現実が見えていないのように使われ、相手の判断力や考え方が誤っていることを強く指摘します。クレイジーよりも理性的な響きがありますが、かなり辛辣な言葉です。自分で使うときは注意が必要で、強い意見を述べるときや皮肉を言うときにぴったりの語です。政治、スポーツ、ニュースなどでも頻繁に登場します。
Because this man is deluded and he's lost it. Because this man is deluded and he's lost it. Self-preservation and one lie after another.
セルフプリザーベーションは、自己保身や自己防衛を意味する単語で、人が自分の命、立場、評判を守ろうとする行動や態度を表します。ニュースや政治関連の記事、また心理学的な文脈でもよく登場する語です。例えば、スキャンダルの渦中にいる人が自分の立場を守るために発言したなど、他人よりも自分の保身を優先するような状況にぴったりの表現です。英語らしい抽象名詞の一つとして、ニュースを読む際にも理解しておきたい単語です。
Self-preservation and one lie after another. Self-preservation and one lie after another. That is truly what astounds me.
アストーンドは、驚かせる系の動詞の中でも特にインパクトが強く、衝撃を与えるや、度肝を抜くといった意味合いがあります。日常的に驚いた時には、サプライズを使いますが、それを超える強烈な驚きや仰天した時に使うのが、アストーンドです。映画やニュース、評論などで、I was astounded by という受け身の形でよく使われます。アストニッシュも類義語ですが、アストーンドの方がより感情の起伏が激しい印象を与える語です。
That is truly what astounds me. That is truly what astounds me. And has the cheek then to moan about squads.
チークは、もともと頬を意味する単語ですが、特にイギリス英語では、ズうずうしさや生意気といった意味でも頻繁に使われます。例えば、He had the cheek to say that は、そんなことを言うとはズうずうしいという強い非難の意味になります。厚かましさを表すときに使う語で、日本語のよくもまあと同じようなニュアンスです。日常会話でも皮肉っぽく使われることが多く、覚えておくと表現の幅が広がります。
And has the cheek then to moan about squads. And has the cheek then to moan about squads. That is how disillusioned and angry Liverpool fans are tonight.
ディスイルージョンドは、幻滅したや理想が壊れたというネガティブな感情を表す単語です。イルージョン、つまり幻想が壊された状態なので、何かに期待していたけれど、現実を知ってがっかりしたという場面でよく使われます。政治や会社、人物、夢に対して使うことが多く、少し文学的、感情的な響きもある単語です。新聞やインタビュー、評論文などでよく登場します。単に、がっかりよりも、深い失望や理想崩壊のニュアンスがあります。
That is how disillusioned and angry Liverpool fans are tonight. That is how disillusioned and angry Liverpool fans are tonight. But our manager, he needs to stop being delusional.
ディルージョナルは、非現実的な信念を持っているや、妄想にとらわれているという意味を持つ形容詞です。医学的には、精神的な病状として使われることもありますが、日常会話では、現実を見ろよ。思い込みが激しいよ。といった皮肉や冗談交じりの表現としてもよく使われます。先に出た、ディルーディットとほぼ同じですが、ディルーディットは、ディルードの過去分詞形で、欺かれたや、騙されたというニュアンスが入る場合もあり、一方で、ディルージョナルは、より精神的な、妄想的なニュアンスになります。会話や SNS などでよく見かける表現なので、意味と使い方をしっかり覚えておくと便利です。
But our manager, he needs to stop being delusional. But our manager, he needs to stop being delusional.
いかがでしたか？基本的には、この試合の戦犯は明らかにスロットであり、 7試合6敗の衝撃も大きく、リバプールファンも、もうスロット解任も時間の問題とさえ感じてきているようです。それでも、被害者とも言える選手たちも、実際には全体的に良いパフォーマンスを見せていなかったことから、出場機会が与えられない理由を改めて感じさせるものであり、移籍や補強の話につながってきそうです。遠藤航に関しても、遠藤らしい、良いプレーもいくつかあったと思いますが、実際に、パスがずれたり、ボールロストしたり、危ういプレーもいくつかあり、プレー時間が少なすぎること、怪我明けであることも十分な理由にもなりそうですが、このままの流れだと、間違いなく次の放出の対象となってくるでしょう。今の状況だと、クリスタルパレスやブライトンに移籍する方が、ファンとしては楽しみになるかもしれませんが、いずれにしても、リバプールでの貴重な今の時間を、最大限楽しんで、また良いプレーを見せてほしいと思います。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。